Alright, today we're going to be doing front brakes on a 2002 Honda Civic SI EP3. Changing out my fronts because they're kind of worn. They're already slotted. They're pretty worn down though. I think maybe they've kind of gone past their life expectancy. They're making a little bit of noise too. You can see a little bit of grooving up top here and the lip here. They're pretty well worn. I was just going to resurface these, but it looks like if they resurfaced them there wouldn't even be slots anymore, so I just opted for getting new ones. And then the first thing I went ahead and did was I just sprayed down everything with PB Blaster, penetrating oil, whatever you want to call it. Main things we're going to be working with these 12 millimeters here. 1, 2 holding the caliper onto the bracket, and then the caliper bracket ones, which I believe are 17s. And I sprayed those down, let them sit for about 10 minutes before I go ahead and get cranking on them. Alright, so you can see here I turned the wheel all the way over to the edge so I can get a little bit more access to these, so I can get my impact in there. You don't need an impact for these, they're not that tight. At most you need a breaker bar. For the caliper ones, these are very low torque, so you wouldn't even normally need that at all. And then the other ones there, you may need a breaker bar. Alright, looks like this bottom one's actually a different size, so perhaps the old one broke or something, so I'm going to see what size that is. It's looking like it might be a 14. Yep, it's a 14. So I'll watch out for that. I'm guessing they broke them at some point or something, or who knows, maybe that's just how they are. Alright, so 1, 2, got those off. I'm just going to put the caliper off to the edge here. Just support it back here on the control arm. And then I'm going to check and see what size this is. It looks like it's going to be like a 17, something around there. Let's see. Looks like 17. Alright, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I got to take the rotor off. Normally, there's a couple of little Phillips screws on the hat there. In this vehicle they're missing, but the rotor appears to be seized onto the hub. So I sprayed a little bit of penetrating oil around the edges, sprayed in the holes there, hoping to loosen it up. Now I'm going to go ahead and give it a few whacks with a sledgehammer. If you care about this, you probably want to use something like a rubber mallet, but I don't care about this rotor, so I'm going to give it a few whacks with this guy and see how it goes. Well, there we go. Rotor is off. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and compress the caliper piston right now while everything else is out of the way. I'm just going to use a large C-clamp like this. The reason you do that is because with the new pads they're going to be thicker, so the piston will be in a slightly different spot. And that's it. Make sure it's nice and flush there, that way you'll be able to get it over the new ones. Alright, here's a quick shot of the rotors. I painted the hats, didn't do too great a job. You can see a little overspray, but they'll be fine. I'm going to wipe it off with some gas or something, a paint thinner. Alright, and before I go ahead and pop the rotor on, I'm just going to scuff up the hub assembly here. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to put some anti-seize around it so it doesn't seize up, so my new rotor doesn't seize up to the hub like the other one did, and I had to whack it with a sledgehammer just to get it off. So there, I just roughed it up a little bit there and around the hub. Alright, I'm popping on the caliper bracket right now. And I'll just get my 17s up and thread it in by hand first, and I'll torque them down. Alright, I'm going to pop the pads on. I'm going to put a little bit of brake grease on the corners here on the hats, or on the ears, I guess you'd call these. So I'm going to start with the rear one since it's usually a little harder to flop on. Those are on now. Next thing I'm going to do is grease up these caliper pins. These already move pretty freely, but I'm going to grease them up anyways, just as a, you know, you should always do it. Now I'm going to put the caliper on, but I'm going to put a little bit of the grease on the back here, so to prevent noise. Point, I got these caliper bolts here almost tight, but then the whole little slider starts spinning. So what you do to stop that is you grab a 17mm, I believe it is. No, it's a little bigger. 19mm on the front. On the rear was a 17, but in here it's a 19. So there we go. Got this side all finished up. Here is the finished product here. Back out the camera a little bit. I painted the calipers, just kind of did them while they were on the vehicle. I just set them off to the side there and painted them. So yeah, here it is. Fortunately, it's missing the dust cap there. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'm going to have to replace that. I also painted the hats of the rotors and everything. So yeah. I've got a couple other things I got to do to this car. I got struts I need to do. Looks like the lower control arm's getting a little sleazy, but you know, this is whatever, that's beside the point. Brakes overall were really easy on this car, just like any other car. I chose to upgrade to ceramic pads and drilled and slotted rotors versus just the slotted that I had previously. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, just let me know down in the comment section. Overall, this was pretty straightforward though.